Hi, my name is Alex Murray. I'm 29 years old. I grew up in a loving family. I participated in many different sports. I was a 3-sport athlete. I got my CNA license. I got good grades in school. I went to college to become a nurse. My dad committed suicide when I was a senior in high school, and I started getting into the party scene and actually following my brother's footsteps. They were all about partying, women, and having a good time. I followed their footsteps, and I slowly started going down the wrong path, hanging with the wrong crowd, getting into criminal trouble. I have a bad criminal history with 3 felonies and 14 misdemeanors. I had no hope at all whatsoever. I tried everything, 4 different rehabs, on my own accord, trying to get sober. That was my only goal for the longest time, was to just get sober, and lost many jobs. And this last time I was in jail, I heard about a program called Teen Challenge, and I would have thought you were crazy if you would have told me that it'd be Jesus Christ that would be the one to save my life. And once I got into Teen Challenge 3 years ago, I prayed to God to just wreck my life, and boy, he really came in. I gained salvation and started becoming a leader in the program, and came on to work as staff there in Michigan. I was an intake director, work duty coordinator, medical coordinator, and I worked there for a year and a half, and I heard about a new program in Arkansas under Pastor Jared, and he gave me the opportunity to be a part of that. And so I moved down here, left everything there in Michigan, and started doing the choir department when I got here, and they moved me up to the marketing director, and I just I'm taking off, all because of the Lord. I just love what I'm doing and ministering to students, being a leader to them, and my goals now have changed a lot. I plan to be a director someday, or assistant director, and if it's the Lord's will, but I just plan on being with Teen Challenge and ministry for the rest of my life. I can't see myself doing anything else.
I lived a pretty good life as a kid. I went through high school and college. After college, I went through rebellion stage. I became wild. I hung out with the wrong crowd. I was on drugs for the next 10 years. I was in and out of trouble. In 2018, I finally hit rock bottom and learned about Teen Challenge. It was then that I decided to come to Teen Challenge. I graduated it in 2019. I decided to stay on. I made a 6-month commitment, and God told me that this is where I needed to be, that I needed to be in ministry and be able to minister to others and be a light out here to show what He's done for me, to help bring them through the things that they're going through. So I stayed here, and I was obedient to that, and I'm a house mom. But through staying here, I've been able to build my life back. I was able to start building my credit and save money. 6 months after I graduated, I bought the car of my dreams. Today, I'm about to get married to a man who works in ministry himself. He's been sober 8 years today, and we're about to buy a house. In a month, we're getting married. God's continued to bless me. I'm now the marketing director here in Tennessee. Every time I turn around, God's blessing me more and more. It's beyond what I could have ever imagined. And I not only have made lifelong friends through Teen Challenge, I have made family. Here, the people really care about you. The staff, the directors, Pastor Jared, they really have a heart to see you do good in life. And you can't really ask for that anywhere else, because I've never had a job before that they actually cared about my personal life and my well-being the way that it is at Teen Challenge. And I just can't wait to see what God is going to do in my life and what He's going to bless me with. So really think about it and pray about staying on and building a future for yourself, because it's not only a future and a career, it's a family. Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name is Shanta FAIN, and I am here at the Adult and Teen Challenge Center in Mississippi. I've been here for 3 years now. Just a little backstory about myself. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. Alcohol and drugs is really the only life I ever knew. My mother drank while she was pregnant with me, and pretty much by the age of 13, every drug I ever did for the first time was actually with my mother. So by the age of 13, I'd done just every drug you can think of, and I was an alcoholic. And that was just the lifestyle I knew. Growing up, I ended up in and out of abusive relationships, in and out of jail, almost lost my life until I found Teen Challenge. My aunt actually found Teen Challenge for me. God used this program to save my life from a lifetime of addiction abuse. I came into this program very lost, broken, lost my children, lost everything I had, came in with just basically the shirt on my back. I came to Teen Challenge 3 years ago, and I'm still here. I started off in the shop, and then I ended up going to the choir department. I was over the choir department, and now I'm the program director. God has just transformed my life so much. He's restored my children back to me. I never had like any job other than fast food or doing housekeeping. So, this place has given me a wonderful opportunity. They've seen the potential in me that I sometimes didn't see in myself. And God has just turned my life around completely. And it's so wonderful because I get to work for the very ministry that helped save my life. And so I just love working with these ladies and being able to see their lives transformed and their lives being restored. And so I'm just so wonderfully thankful for Teen Challenge and everyone here. And, and you just be obedient to God, and and He will open so many doors for you that it just will blow your mind. Thank y'all for letting me share.
Hi, my name is Sara. I'm 32 years old. I'm a Native American from Seminole, Oklahoma. I heard about Teen Challenge a few years ago through my cousin who actually completed it successfully. We were involved in a drunk driving accident when I was 15 years old. He lost his 4-year-old brother, and it changed his life. I was in my addiction very bad, and I didn't know who else to call, so I called my dad, and he told me about Teen Challenge. He told me my cousin completed a program, and I didn't know it was Teen Challenge until I called him. He prayed for me and told me about the program, and I was going to go to the program 3 years ago, but instead I ended up going to jail. God knew I wasn't ready, and so it wasn't until last year I was in a very abusive relationship where I was with a narcissist, and I thought he loved me and he was everything I needed. But my sister, I was in contact with my sister, and she knew something wasn't right. One night it led into a knockout, drag-out fight. He ended up taking everything I had, my vehicle, my cars, my ID, my bank card, everything, and left me stranded on a road in the rain, barefoot. And I believe that's when God got a hold of me. I knew about God before, and I lived for Him before, but I didn't have a relationship with Him. I knew He took addiction from me before and changed my life drastically, but I felt like my addiction was bigger than that. I came in through the Missouri Center. I was living in St. Roberts, Missouri with my sister, and I called her because I woke up in a ditch, and she thought I was gonna die, and I thought I was gonna die too. She spent all day calling for a detox center for me to go to, and God gave her one in Springfield. It was only a 5-day detox, and I didn't know where I was gonna go after the 5 days. I was wanting to stay there, but God didn't want me to. Instead, a nurse who was there told me about Teen Challenge and how Teen Challenge choir came to her church and that the program works. And I looked at her and laughed. I was like, no ma'am, I don't want to go to Teen Challenge. I heard about Teen Challenge before, and it's a really hard program. I don't think I'm ready for that. Well, God knew I was ready because He shut every door. And I called every other place, and they cost a lot of money, and my family was tired of paying for me. And so I called Teen Challenge, And I don't really remember the first interview, but I remember the second one with Miss Tabitha, and I just remember hanging up on telling her, look, if you want me in the program, you'll call my sister, and then hanging up. Well, you know, I knew God was in this program because Miss Tabby actually called my sister, and my sister answered the phone, and I trusted my sister, and she told me, she's like, you're going to Teen Challenge. I cried. I really cried. I didn't want to come, but I knew I can trust my sister, and I can trust in God that this is what was going to change me, because I was ready for change. And until you're ready for change, you'll try anything, but it won't work. God opened the door here for me at the Kansas Center. I came in just with the mindset of, I'm just going to get through the program. I'm going to get through my book work, and I'm going to do all the scriptures, and I'm just going to do whatever they tell me to do so I can leave and go back to the guy I was dating before. But God got a hold of me and changed my life. I felt like I did really good in my schoolwork, and I actually was in Back to Life. Back to Life helped me develop my prayer life, and it was an amazing program that really helps me. And I actually got to work in the marketing department where we call the stores, and I got to see that part of the side, which is really hard. Kudos to the marketing department. But now I'm in the intake department, and God's using me to open up doors to help the intake department here in Kansas. And I'm actually meeting with a lot of people, and seeing that side, it actually makes me enjoy it. And I never thought working for a ministry would be enjoyable, but it actually is. And the Teen Challenge ministry is helping me a lot, helping me, counseling me, and let me know what a relationship with God really means and how to communicate them. And seeing hope through my directors and all the staff members here really helps me, and knowing that God's going to change my life just like He changed theirs. And so I'm happy to say that I'm going to be on the internship, and who knows what's next for me. And I'm very thankful for Teen Challenge.
I came in straight from jail. I was facing a few years in prison and felony charges. I came in, I was lost and broken in a shell of the person that I once was. And I came in to get clean, and so that I could go home to my family, because I had completely pushed them away when I was deep in my addiction. I moved up in leadership pretty quickly. I was in the choir department most of my program. I loved calling churches and talking to pastors, and because testimonial services were really important for the healing process. Further on in my program, I got the opportunity to be the call room supervisor in our Back to Life department. And that's really when I started improving on my communication skills. I learned how to connect with people over the phone and build relationships with people. And about 6 months into my program, the Lord really laid it on my heart that I needed to stay after graduation. And I fought it the entire time until about a month before I was about to graduate. And I finally surrendered to His will. Not only, you know, to continue to be surrounded with a community of people to encourage me and help me grow, but to see the transformation that continues to happen every day in the other students in the program. Something that always really stuck with me throughout my program, whether Pastor Jared or Miss Kate was saying it, is that God doesn't call the qualified, that He qualifies the called. And you know, I was a college dropout. I was a felon, and you know, God raised me up. And you know, Teen Challenge and the leaders here saw the potential in me even when I didn't see it in myself. So I'm very thankful for every opportunity that Teen Challenge has given me, and you know, if God can do it for me, He can do it for you. Thanks.
My journey began in Mississippi, where I was inspired by my leader, Miss Kayla, and my pastor, Pastor Jared, to continue my journey through ministry. Since I've continued, I have discovered a career that I love, work that I love, a family that I never knew that I could possibly have, and a life that I didn't even know that I wanted or that was out there to have. Since being a staff member and continuing my career, I have gained my daughter, my children back in my life, a car, a home of my own that I never thought was even possible. I'm beginning to develop a plan for my future as well as my children, and I hope to continue in ministry, for many more years to come.